today I'm going to teach you how to make this really pretty arrow stitch blanket. So to make this blanket, you're going to need 9 to 10 skeins of this Hue and Me yarn, depending on whether or not you want to add fringe or tassels to the end of your blanket. That does take up a bit of yarn. Now this is a bulky number 5 yarn, and in my opinion, this is on the heavier side of a number 5 yarn. So if you want to use another type of yarn, just keep that in mind. And then I used an 8mm crochet hook for my blanket, but you can use whatever size fits your gauge the best. The gauge does not really matter for this blanket since it is a blanket, so it's all right if it turns out a little bigger or a little smaller than mine. You'll also need a tape measure and a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. For demonstration purposes, I will not be making a full blanket on camera. I will just be making a swatch. However, I will be giving you the exact stitch counts you will need at the end of every row. So we're going to start by working a foundation row of 79 foundation half double crochet stitches. Now you can make this blanket wider if you'd like. You are simply going to work in multiples of 4 plus 3 more, okay? So for my blanket, I am making 79 foundation half double crochet stitches to start with. If you do not know how to make a foundation half double crochet, I'm going to show you right now. So you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to yarn over. You're going to insert your hook into the bottom bump of that first chain that you made and pull up a loop. And now you've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over and pull through 3. And that's your first foundation half double crochet stitch. All right, so let's do that again. You'll yarn over, insert your hook under these 2 loops. You've got 2 loops now. Kind of looks like a regular stitch now. Pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through all 3. I'm going to show you one more time. So yarn over, you're going to insert your hook under both of these loops here now and pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 1, and yarn over and pull through all 3. So you're going to go ahead and pause this video, continue to make 79 foundation half double crochet stitches, and then I will meet you back here to start the next row. All right, welcome back. So once you've made your foundation row of half double crochet stitches, you're just going to chain 1 and then turn your work over. So now that we're working along the top side of these stitches now. So again, I am just making a swatch. I am not crocheting a full blanket on camera. So you should have 79 foundation half double crochet stitches. So now after your chain 1, you're just going to work 1 half double crochet in the first stitch and in each stitch all the way across. And you're going to do a half double crochet row for the next 4 rows. So you're going to have a total of 5 half double crochet rows. Just make sure you are chaining 1 and turning at the end of every row. So go ahead and pause this video, work your next 4 rows of half double crochet stitches, and then I will meet you back here to start the next row. And welcome back. So you should now have 5 rows of half double crochet stitches. Again, I'm just making a swatch, so yours should look a lot longer than mine. If you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to start row 6, and we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first 3 stitches. And once you've worked those single crochets, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to skip this next stitch, and now we're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches again. Once you've worked those 3 single crochets, go ahead and chain 1. Skip this next stitch, and now you will work 3 single crochets in each of the next 3 stitches. And again, once you've completed those 3 single crochets, chain 1, and then you'll skip the next stitch. And you're going to continue to crochet in the same manner, okay? So you're going to work 3 single crochets, chain 1, skip the next stitch, 3 single crochets, and you should end the row with 3 single crochets in each of the last 3 stitches. All right, so go ahead and pause this video, finish up this row, and then I'll meet you back here to start row 7. And welcome back. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now for this row, you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch in each of the first 3 stitches. And now you're going to work a double crochet stitch in this chain 1 space. And now you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch in each of the next 3 stitches. And that'll bring you up to the next chain 1 space, and you're going to work a double crochet in that chain 1 space. So now for the remainder of this row, you are simply just going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch and in each chain 1 space all the way across until you get to the end. So go ahead and pause this video, finish up this row, and then I will meet you back here to start our first row with arrow stitches. Okay, and once you've finished this row of double crochet stitches, just go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. So we're going to be working the arrow stitch on this next row here. Now at the beginning and the end of each row of arrow stitches, it's always going to look a little different than the rest of the arrow stitches in the center of the row. So to begin this row, you're simply going to start by making a single crochet in the very first stitch. Super simple. And now I want you to locate that chain 1 space from 2 rows below, okay? Here's that chain 1 space, and then here is the unworked stitch in the center of that chain 1 space right here. Do you see that? This unworked stitch here? This is exactly how we're going to insert our hook when we work into these unworked stitches. So basically you're going to insert your hook underneath this unworked stitch and then back out of that chain 1 space. And that's how we're going to work our arrow stitches. All right, so like I said, it's going to look a little different. The first arrow stitch and the last arrow stitches of each row are just half arrows. So you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook into that unworked stitch as I just showed you, and pull up a loop. And that's going to give you 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So basically you made kind of like a front post treble crochet. Now you may notice that your stitch looks slanted like this. That's how it's supposed to look, okay? So now I want to draw your attention to this unworked stitch behind that half arrow stitch we just worked. We're going to skip that stitch and we're going to work a single crochet stitch into this next stitch here. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then work a single crochet in this next stitch. All right, so now we're going to work a full arrow stitch, and we're going to share the space with this stitch that we just made, okay? So you're going to yarn over twice, bring your hook back over to this same stitch where you finished your last arrow stitch in, and insert your hook through there and pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you're going to leave these 2 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over twice. Locate the next chain one space, and now you see that unworked stitch in the center of that chain one space. You're going to insert your hook into that unworked stitch and pull up a loop, and that's going to give you 5 loops on your hook now. So you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you're going to yarn over and pull through all of these 3 loops. And that is your first full arrow stitch. And now every arrow stitch is going to be made just like this one here until we get to the very end, and then we're going to work another half arrow stitch just like we did for this first one. All right, so look behind your arrow stitch you just made. You're going to skip the stitch, the unworked stitch that's right behind the arrow stitch you just made, and you're going to work into this next stitch. We're going to make a single crochet. Chain 1, and now you're going to skip the next stitch and work another single crochet in this next stitch. And now we're going to work another arrow stitch. So once again, we're going to share the stitch that we finished this arrow in, this last arrow stitch. We're going to be working into that stitch once again. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that same stitch where you finished your last arrow stitch, and pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook now. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Leave these 2 loops on your hook, yarn over twice again, and you're going to look for that next chain 1 space. Here it is, and then there's the unworked stitch. Insert your hook into that unworked stitch and pull up a loop. And now you've got 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you're going to yarn over and pull through the last 3 loops. And now you've made your second arrow stitch. All right, let's repeat that sequence one more time. So again, you're going to look at the unworked stitch behind the arrow stitch you just made, and you're going to skip that one. We're going to move on to this next stitch and work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and now you're going to single crochet in the next stitch. And now it's time to work another arrow stitch. So remember, we're sharing stitches, so we're going to work the first part of our arrow stitch in the same stitch where we finished our last arrow stitch. So yarn over twice, insert your hook through that stitch, and pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Leave these 2 loops on your hook, yarn over twice again. Locate the next, oh, where is it? Oh, here it is. The next chain 1 space. Look for that unworked stitch, insert your hook into that stitch and pull up a loop. And now you've got 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Moving forward, you're going to skip the stitch that's behind the arrow you just worked and move on to this one and work a single crochet stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and single crochet in this next stitch here. Now you're going to continue this same sequence, okay? So next, after this, you're going to work another arrow stitch, and then you're going to do your single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, arrow stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, arrow stitch, or single crochet, I'm sorry. All right, so you're just going to continue this same sequence all the way across the row until you get to the last 2 stitches, and that's where I happen to be right now. So go ahead and pause this video, finish up this row, and then meet me back here when you've got 2 stitches left, and I'm going to show you how to finish up this row. All right, welcome back. So let's finish up this arrow stitch row that we've been working on. You should have 2 stitches left in this row. So we're going to make a half arrow stitch, just like we did at the beginning of this row. We're going to end this row with a half arrow stitch. And to do that, you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same stitch where you finished your last arrow stitch, and pull up a loop. And now you're just going to finish this like a regular treble crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that is your last half arrow stitch. Now this unworked stitch behind the half arrow you just made, you're going to skip that, and you're just going to move on to this very last stitch and work a single crochet stitch in that last stitch. And now you have completed your first row of arrow stitches. Okay, so go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're just going to work 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and in each stitch and chain 1 space all the way across, just like we did a couple rows below. So I'm going to work 1 double crochet stitch in each of the first 3 stitches. And then when I come up to that chain 1 space, there it is, I'm just going to work a double crochet in that chain 1 space. And I'm just going to continue on working 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch and each chain 1 space all the way across. So go ahead and pause this video, work this row, and then I'll meet you back here to start the next arrow stitch row. Okay, welcome back. So if you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work, and we're going to start another arrow row. I'm going to walk you through a little bit of this, and then I'm going to leave you to it for the rest of this blanket until we get to the finishing rows. So once again, to start a row that uses the arrow stitch, we're going to work a single crochet in the first stitch. And now we're going to make our first half arrow stitch. So you're going to start by locating the chain 1 space from 2 rows below, and then there is our unworked stitch. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into that unworked stitch and pull up a loop. You've got 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And now your first half arrow stitch of this next row is made. So I want you to look behind that half arrow stitch you just worked. Here is the unworked stitch behind that stitch. We're going to skip that and move on to the next stitch and work a single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and work a single crochet in this next stitch. And now we're going to make a full arrow stitch now. So we're going to be working into this same stitch that we finished our arrow stitch or our half arrow stitch in. So yarn over twice, go back and insert your hook into that same stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and leave these loops on your hook. Yarn over twice again. Insert your hook into this next unworked stitch, so look for your next chain 1 space. It's always going to be like in the center of this V here. You look in the center of the V and then you'll find your chain 1 space. Insert your hook into that unworked stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And now you're going to look behind this arrow stitch you just made, skip this unworked stitch, and move on to this next stitch and work a single crochet stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and work another single crochet stitch in the next stitch. And now you're just going to continue this sequence just as you did on this first row. You're going to continue that sequence all the way across until you get to those last 2 stitches. So if you need to see that again, go ahead and pause this video and I'll walk you through finishing up the row over those last 2 stitches again. Now once you've come to the last 2 stitches of this arrow row, we're going to make our last half arrow stitch of this row. So to do that, you're going to yarn over twice. Find the stitch that you finished your last arrow stitch in and insert your hook into that stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And now you're going to skip this unworked stitch behind your half arrow stitch and work a single crochet stitch in this very last stitch here. And you now have 2 full arrow stitch rows on your blanket. So the next row is a double crochet row where you are going to work a double crochet in each stitch and in each chain 1 space all the way across. So you're going to start by working a double crochet stitch in each of the first 3 stitches. That's going to bring you to a chain 1 space. You're going to work a double crochet in there and then a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Brings you to another chain 1 space and so on. So it's just going to be a repeat of the row, the double crochet row that you did before this arrow stitch row. And then moving forward, you are just going to alternate 1 arrow stitch row and 1 double crochet row, 1 arrow stitch row, 1 double crochet row. My blanket ended up having 28 arrow stitch rows, but you can make your blanket as long or as short as you want it to be. So go ahead and pause this video, alternate 1 double crochet row with 1 arrow stitch row until your blanket is your desired size. Again, mine ended up being 28 rows of the arrow stitch. Now you want to end with an arrow stitch row. Don't end with a double crochet row. So once again, go ahead and alternate those 2 rows over and over again until your blanket is the size that you want it to be. And then I'll meet you back here to put on the finishing rows and the fringe. Hello and welcome back to my arrow stitch blanket tutorial. So my swatch is the exact same size as it was when I left you to finish your blanket. So now that your blanket is the length that you want it to be, again, I had 28 rows of this arrow stitch on my blanket. You want to make sure you end with an arrow row. We're going to start our next 5 rows, but you want to make sure you're starting with an arrow row. So if you happen to have a double crochet row up above here, you can either frog that or you can put on another row of the arrow stitch. So if you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the first 3 stitches. And now you're going to work a half double crochet stitch in the chain 1 space. And you're just going to continue to work 1 half double crochet stitch in each stitch and in each chain 1 space all the way across. So go ahead and pause this video, work this row of half double crochet stitches, and I'll meet you back here to start the next row. Okay, so once you finish that half double crochet row, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now from here, you're just going to work 4 rows of half double crochet stitches. So go ahead and pause this video, work your last 4 rows. They're just half double crochet stitches, and then I will meet you back here to show you how to put the fringe on. Welcome back to my crochet arrow stitch blanket tutorial. So once you've put on your last 5 half double crochet rows, you can just go ahead and fasten off and weave in your ends. And now it's time to make our fringe. All right, now I'm going to try to do this so that you can see what I'm doing. But basically I take the end of my yarn here and I just hold it between my thumb and my first finger and I wrap it around my forearm. So I go to my elbow and then wrap it around like this. I'm not going to do a lot just because I already have the finished blanket, but I'm just trying to show you guys how I make my fringe. So once you have a lot of loops here, and you might need to do it more than once, I just go ahead and I cut this. So now you're left with these strands of yarn, and conveniently I happen to have 3, and that is how many I used when I made my fringe for this blanket. Okay, so where you place your fringe is really up to you. For this blanket, I left 2 stitches in between each set of fringe, okay? So I put fringe in the very first stitch, I skipped 2, and then put another piece of fringe on, skipped 2, put another piece on, okay? So to attach your fringe, I use my crochet hook, and I just insert my hook into the very first stitch there. I make sure that my fringe is even, and then I just pull all 3 pieces through. Pull the pieces just until you have a loop big enough to work with, and grab those ends, and now you'll just pull them through. All right. All right, so this is quite long, but I like to make my fringe, see, I've made the mistake of making fringe shorter and wishing it was longer. So now I make it longer than I know I'm gonna need it, so I've got plenty of room to trim it. And especially for blankets, I tend to like to have, you know, some nice long fringe. That's it. That is how you're going to attach the fringe. Now I did this along both ends, so you'll come to the top end as well and attach your fringe the same way. But that's it for this blanket tutorial, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed making this blanket as much as I did. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.